Okay, so we're given that DE is parallel to AB and triangle DAB is congruent to triangle EVA, and we need to prove that Dave, that's the name of the figure, is an isosceles trapezoid. So we kind of talked about this in our warm-up. What are some things that are true about isosceles trapezoids? Lucas?
They're consecutive. No, I can't remember what it was, but they don't.
Ryan?
The base angles are congruent.
The base angles are congruent. What else has to be true? The top. Yep, both base angles have to be congruent, both sets. What about like just the fact that it's a trapezoid? What does that mean? It's a quadrilateral. Jessica? Say that again? The bases are parallel, correct. And look, we're given that right off the bat. DE it's given. Alright, what else is true about an isosceles trapezoid? I mean, why is it called isosceles? Julie?
Because two of the sides are congruent.
Two of the sides are congruent. What are those sides called? They're not the bases, they're the legs. So we got to prove that EB and DA are congruent. And let's break down our other given.
Why do you have one X on? Oh, no.
Okay, so how can we use those congruent triangles DAB and EVA to help prove that that whole shape is an isosceles trapezoid? I mean, Ryan said congruent base angles. Someone else said congruent legs. I think it was Julie. And I think some of you said that the diagonals are equal. So anyone can prove any of those? Lucas?
Or DA and EB are equal
How do we know that?
because of the given, the DAB, because they're in the same line.
So we have congruent triangles, and you're saying this part of this triangle is congruent to that part of that triangle.
Yep.
Yeah.
What would our reasoning be for that? Jessica? That's exactly what it is. CPC TC, congruent parts of congruent triangles are congruent. Because triangle DAB is congruent to triangle EVA, we can say that DA and EV are congruent. And so we have one set of parallel sides and two legs that are congruent. We have ourselves an isosceles trapezoid. So DABE, or Dave, is an isosceles triangle, or trapezoid. That would be because it's the definition. Any questions on that? What's that?
They're isosceles.
Yep. And there's other ways you could have done this. You could have said that angle DAB and angle EVA are congruent due to CPC TC, and then you would have said the base angles are congruent, or you could have said DV and AE are congruent due to CPC, the diagonals in a trapezoid, if they're congruent, then you have an isosceles trapezoid. So there was more than one way to do this.